Hello everyone, how are you doing today? This is Mr. Chow from EnglishTution.org. Now in today's video, we are going to learn the number one reason why students are not doing well in English. So before we even get started, I want you to start thinking, right? If you're not doing as well in English as you would have liked, what do you think are some possible reasons? So with that, let's get started in this video. Okay, as there are many common reasons, right, as to why students do not do well in English. All right, here are some of the common reasons. Some of these reasons could be more general in nature. For example, a student may be disinterested in studies, right? There are some students who just don't enjoy studying, and that includes English. So this is not a very specific reason. So students who are disinterested in studies, generally, they do not do well in all the different subjects, right? A more specific reason would be a lack of linguistic talent. Right? Now, this may not be very apparent for students who are very young, right? Because when kids are young, we're not very sure what is their limit, right? And most of the time, 90% of the students, I would say, they would still be able to master, certain basic grammar rules, sentence structures. But as the language progresses into secondary level and more advanced level, like the general paper for A levels, then the limits of the students may become more apparent because we have more information about the students and we know more about their strengths and weaknesses, right? Because for instance, some students may be stronger in maths and science subjects and may not be as strong in their language subjects, right? And there's a tendency for maths and science to get, they will ace those subjects, but for the language subjects, they just hover around maybe B4 or even a C grade. Okay, and some students, right, they're just easily distracted, and because of again, we tie into general disinterest in maybe the particular subject itself, right? So if they are not interested in English, they will allow themselves to get distracted during lessons. They'll be daydreaming, they'll be thinking about other stuff, and they're just not paying attention in class. And this is one of the strong reasons. Okay, and another common reason is that some students have not developed an interest for reading, right? I want to emphasize, I use these words very specifically, right? I say they have not developed an interest for reading. So this suggests that there are steps that students can take in order to develop their interest for reading, right? So you can't just say, oh, I don't enjoy reading, and then you don't read at all, right? Because there will be some topics, there will be some subjects that interest you, right? The problem is, have you even started to explore those areas yet, right? So if you have not tried, right, so don't give yourself the excuse that reading is just not for me. Okay, but for most people, if they try, right, they will be able to find certain topics that interest them for a time, right? And because interests actually do change, and you find that if you get bored with a particular subject or particular topic, you just move on and you continue to explore and you find your new interest, right? So this is a good way to develop an interest for reading. If you skip this part, right, you don't like to read, then it makes it more challenging to do well in the English language subject, right? And then another common reason is the lack of proper guidance. So sometimes things happen in life, right? For example, I have a student who's going to take her O levels this year, and the English teacher just told the entire class that she's going on maternity leave, right? And there's a few months down the road that they will not have access to their main teacher, right? No doubt there will be a substitute teacher, right? But then it disrupts the momentum of the learning, and the substitute teacher may not be as in tune with the students as the main teacher, right? So these type of things happen in life, right? Nothing wrong going on maternity leave. These are the things that just happen in reality, right? And because of that, right, students lose an access to certain resources, right? They lose access to the teacher for a period of time. So just make sure, right, that you continue to have access to your tutors and your teachers, right, so that you can keep up the momentum, right? Every time you have questions, there should be somebody you are able to go up to and ask those questions in order to clarify your doubts, right? So if you go for a prolonged period of time where you have a ton of questions in your head, right, but maybe you don't feel comfortable with the new teacher, right, and then you don't clarify your doubts, you don't ask those questions, so this will hamper your learning and prevent you from doing well in the subject. Okay, so given all those reasons, what do you think is the number one reason, right, for students who do not do well, right? In my opinion, right, the number one reason is that 99% of the students, they take the teaching as the end point of their learning, right? What do I mean? So students who take the teaching as the end point means that, they attend a lesson and they just take it, oh, I have finished the lesson, that's where my learning ends. And then they do not go further to develop their learning, right? For example, they do not read outside the scope of the teaching. They thought, I attended the lesson, I attended the tuition lesson conducted by Mr. Chow, right? And that's the end point, okay? And another behavior that they exhibit is that they put in minimal effort instead of maximum effort. Oh, I finished, right? That's the end point. Why should I take the extra step? Why should I go the extra mile? Why should I do anything that is outside of the lesson? Because it's the end, right? I've done my part. Okay, so that comes across as putting in minimum effort instead of maximum effort. All right, so how do we go about trying to overcome, right, this problem? So it's quite obvious, right? We do the opposite approach, right? We take the teaching as the starting point. So what we want to do is to continue to experiment and learn after the teaching. So the lesson ended, but your learning did not end there. It's only the starting point. Now, the reason why you want to use the teaching as the starting point is because sometimes teachers are there to help you to get started because you simply have no idea where to begin. All right. So we tell you, okay, this is the structure for the essay. This should be how you should go about writing a discursive essay. This is how you should go about giving examples for certain type of essay, and then we provide you with some examples, right? So, but if you take it as the end point and you stop learning, then you only know how to regurgitate what you have learned during the lesson. Now, the A students are smart, right? The A students will say, no, that's the starting point. I am curious, right, after learning all the new examples. So let's try to go one step further and learn examples that are outside of the classroom. Okay, so what we will see as markers, right, as your tutors, you come back, you work on your essay question, and we will be able to see some original content from you, because that's evidence, right, that you have read outside of the classroom, and that's when you deserve to get your A. Okay, so the students also combine what they have learned in their exercises, right? So they take it as a starting point. Okay, they practice one skill at a time, but at the end of it, right, they try to play around with it. They try to combine certain skills that they have learned, for example, descriptive writing skills, analytical thinking skills, right? And they combine them and apply them, okay, in their essays, right? Okay, and they're always very curious, ready to read more, okay, and learn more constantly, right? After the teaching, right? So the teaching has ended, but for the students, it's only the beginning, right? So that is the mindset, and you want to continue to learn consistently. All right, so with that, we have come to the end of the video. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Do remember to leave a like and a subscribe if you wish to watch more future videos, not just like this one, right? From the bottom of my heart, I hope that you find it useful. Okay, for those who are serious about signing up for English lessons, do remember to visit EnglishTuition.org for more details. Okay, and with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.